Hello everyone, I'm Meg Oliver in New York and welcome to this edition of Money Matters. 'Tis the season to be jolly, but even more so, 'tis the season to go shopping. So when families hit the malls and the internet this season, everyone is looking for tips and tricks to save. One way to do that is to recognize the trends this year. Joining me with 5 holiday shopping trends is CEO of the financial analysis company Sageworks, Brian Hamilton. Hi Brian, thanks for being here.
Yeah, hey Meg.
So before we get started, explain to our viewers exactly what Sageworks does.
We do financial analysis of privately held companies, and most of our customers are accountants and bankers throughout North America.
So why is it so important to understand the trends? How does that help you with your holiday shopping?
Well, you kind of know, I mean, it's very interesting, right? It's sort of not an adversarial relationship, but you're the buyer, and you've got sellers out there, and it's always good to know what they're doing, what's on their agenda, and you can plan accordingly.
Okay, well, let's go over some of your trends. First up, retailers will sell at deep discounts, and I found myself shopping online yesterday, and I was wondering, how am I getting the best deal? How much of a discount should you expect?
Sure, it's fascinating. Well, first, before that, your first point is excellent. Do you know the profit margins of retailers is actually up over the last year? Sales are flat, but their profit margins are going up because they're cutting overhead. Now, what that means is there's going to be steep discounts this year in this year's buying season. So everyone should know that. I can't give you an exact percentage, but there's going to be great deals out there.
Okay, so where should you go to look for these?
Go to the big box retailers, right? Definitely. They've got more discretionary cash flow, and they're going to give you your biggest discounts. By the way, your point was excellent. People are flocking to the internet. They're buying online, and they should, because companies can save by selling through distribution on the internet, so you're going to get great deals on the internet as well. And that's a mega trend. Meg, if you look at the numbers, online retailers have grown their sales by about 6.8% this year compared to last year. So it's a great way to buy.
Okay, now let's go to the second trend, Brian, and that is that people will shop more online. How many more compared to last year?
Well, as I mentioned, the sales are up about 6.8%. I think it was fascinating on Black Friday this year, right? You had a lot of people going to the stores. It's hard to get parking, hard to get around the malls. People were shopping, but really, when they make those buying decisions, they're doing it online. So we don't know exactly what the percentages are going to be, but it's a mega trend, right? It's definitely going to be here for a while as a trend.
So how bad is that for stores already feeling the crunch of online shopping?
Well, we don't know exactly. I mean, I think in our analysis, we think that the retail segment will be the first segment to kind of turn around when there's a bona fide recovery. You can see sales are still flat. They're anemic. There's about a 1% increase this year compared to last year. But that segment, once that segment turns around as a category, we think we'll be out of the recession on a bona fide level.
All right, the third trend, and we keep hearing about this, is that consumers will buy things that are closer to necessities than luxuries.
Yes.
This really shows times are changing when it comes to what people are looking for, right?
Right, no doubt about it. In your last segment, you mentioned it. Consumers are getting more thrifty about debt. They're not borrowing as much. So, yeah, there's no doubt about it. There's a big trend to people buying necessities. Now, during Christmas, of course, those lines are sort of gray because the truth is during Christmas we buy things that are discretionary. But we think there will be more purchases of clothing and items that you can use in your everyday life because people are definitely not buying those luxury items during this season, and certainly not over the last year.
Well, speaking of luxury items, which stores are affected the most, both negatively and positively, due to this trend? I expect that those luxury stores probably aren't doing so well.
No, they're not. I mean, look at the retail categories right down the line over the last year, Meg. The high-end stores, the Tiffany's, it's kind of predictable. Saks, those stores are just not doing well. Now, they will stabilize a little bit during this buying season, but they're not doing well. On the other hand, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, they're doing fine because, again, people are moving toward discretionary purchases. They'll continue to do so, and the sales should be okay.
And fourth, you say be aware when not shopping online because people will shop primarily at those big box retailers, which you mentioned, which means what? What do you need to be aware of here?
Well, the thing you want to be aware of is that if you're going to a smaller privately held company, they just do not have as much cash flow, Meg, and the profit margins are definitely not there. They're up a little bit, but sales are flat. So really you want to just change your buying habits, go to the big box retailers, and they'll give you the best deals.
Okay, and we have one last trend, and that is, even though that you're supposed to keep an eye out on a lot of advertisements from retailers, and how does that help you?
Well, I don't know if it helps you too much. It just means you're going to be. It might make things more confusing, actually. But there's just going to be a lot more advertising. By the way, just an FYI. I don't know if it helps you, but it's fascinating, at least to us. You know, during most recessions, companies cut their advertising expenses. And this one, over the last year, the advertising expenses are going up. So it's amazing. We're just going to be inundated by ads during this buying season as retailers try to rebound into the recovery.
Interesting. Okay, CEO of Sageworks, Brian Hamilton, we're out of time, but thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Meg.
Have a great holiday.